the sweeping changes happening in the Indian society even as we speak. Though I saw a module called the Indian Kaleidoscope in your curriculum, in semester 1, this might not be enough. To this extent, your inspiration should come from the IS education curriculum and not the MBA of IIM. An understanding of Indian, one more minute can I take? An understanding of Indian philosophical system is necessary too for a sound practice in India, for they have a profound influence of our day-to-day life. A basic introduction to how many schools of Indian philosophy? No, I'm not going to ask you questions. A brief introduction to schools of Indian philosophy like Nyaya, if you've heard of it, Yoga, Sankhya, Mimamsa, Vedanta, Vaisheshika. These are the 6 schools of Indian philosophy. There are many things in common. Is recommended. Gandhiji influenced and moved an entire Indian society to action by focusing on a single starting tenet common to all Indian schools of philosophy, namely ahimsa. So, yoga, nyaya, mimamsa, whatever, the starting tenet is ahimsa. As we all know, ahimsa became the guiding principle in the fight to acquire freedom. Is that a PR exercise also? In a way, yes. Such is the power of philosophy and faith in Indian life. Our work is about resolving conflict, creating a dialogue, making diverse stakeholders engage with each other. It is an arbitration role which requires the arbitrator to have a certain level of social skill and emotional intelligence, which is very critical in all leadership roles as well. We need to relearn the lost arts of listening, humility, empathy, sensitivity, more important than anything else, compassion. You can't become a good PR person unless you have compassion for others. An arbitrator must be inherently trustworthy. If you are मांडोली कराने का है ना दो लोगों के बीच में, if you have to bring an understanding between 2 people, you must be trusted by both. So you must know them both, know their issue. Only then can you, whether it's the media and the client, government and the client, union and the client, or the neighbor and the client, whoever. An arbitrator must be inherently trustworthy to facilitate dialogue. And it's not only about book knowledge, it's not only about Porter's strategy, it's not only about Kotler's something or somebody else's some management theory. I mean, कबीर का दोहा याद है? वो पोथी पढ़ पढ़ जग मुआ पंडित भयो न कोय, 2.5 अक्षर प्रेम के करे सो. तो पीआर में पंडित बनना है तो प्रेम बहुत जरूरी है. Not as in प्रेम, don't misunderstand. Alright, last couple of paragraphs. It might be a good idea to include some of these ideas from moral science back from primary education into the curriculum of PR. Can you change the last slide? Last slide, please. Next, this one. Yes. Reinventing PR will have to be a collaborative effort between all its constituents, between PR firms, clients, supporting ecosystem, and educational institutions. We need an ongoing dialogue on the pain points, expectations, and aspirations of each constituency, moderated by a pragmatic approach to. We cannot be idealistic about disruption or reinvention. Practical होना चाहिए ना, पैसा होना चाहिए, speed होना चाहिए, but करना भी चाहिए. We need to define what PR invention means for the Indian context. I mean, what Paul Holmes write and what there may be a disconnect. So can we just adapt it to India? And what should be our priorities? Given the urgency, we need to put a time frame on achieving some tangible goals. This will require ongoing consultation, best facilitated and moderated by an independent center of learning like Symbiosis. For starters, I would urge the batch of 2016 to create a definitive, well-researched document, a white paper on reinventing PR in India. Can you do that? Very good. That provides perspectives of all involved. That will then become a reference point for everybody. My firm would be happy to support such an initiative. Finally, I would like to thank each one of you for giving me an opportunity to share some of these ideas. The effort was to lay a wide canvas on which a dialogue can start and some action should start too. Thank you very much for your patience. I'm sure I have not left any time. This is my strategy, no questions. Use all the time. Any questions? Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hello sir, I'm Munch Pandya. Sir, you said that PR industry is facing identity crisis. But sir, restricting the PR thing only for one identity, so won't it restrict the innovation part? I mean, having different identities, won't it have a wide range of work that we as PR personnel will do?
No, no, no. So, it's a good question. And because nobody has addressed it ever before. The question is good, and the answer is like this. Take any profession. The identity is about your social relevance. Finally, the world must understand you when you go and tell you're not married, no?
No, sir.
Your father-in-law will ask you, करते क्या हो?
Okay.
मैं PR में हूँ. वो क्या होता है? And you will tell, I'm into brand management advice. वो क्या होता है? I went to, and I'm giving you as a real example. I went to a Harvard class, short learning, the longer courses I couldn't afford. So when I went to this class, 50% of people who are senior leaders from corporate world in India came and asked me one question in our conversations on lunch and dinners. What do you do as a PR agency? Is that an identity crisis? It is. And the identity crisis is not about a technicality. It's about anything, any business, any person, any human being, any profession must be able to have a social purpose behind him. Policeman क्या करता है? Protects law and order, not in your gully, but he says society. Whether the policeman is in Michigan or Australia or India or in your village, everybody understands his role as one. Doctor's role is one. Why can't the PR role be understood too? Do I have a ready-made answer that the whole world is going to ask? No, I'm raising it for the first time. I might have a view, but the industry needs to globally get together and say, what are we all about? Is there a one-sentence definition which all of us can carry on as a badge on our? That's what I meant.
Thank you, sir.
So you might have different skills. A policeman in somebody else carries a AK-47, in your gaam he carries a lathi. But finally is doing with the different tools and techniques and capabilities and competences, they're all trying to do one thing, protect law and order in society. A doctor in a village or in what is the world's best Cleveland Clinic, super specialist to a GP, to a nurse, finally have different skill sets, different competencies, different level of sophistication, different fee points. What do they all have in common? I protect health of society. That's the point to make.
So,
Yeah, please.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I would now like to invite Professor Chatterjee to please felicitate Mr. Behel. Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. Thank you.
I took a shortcut like you did. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Firstly, this is a little thing about you which is available on social media. Okay. And we just put it together. A little bouquet to remember us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Really, really appreciate it.
We would now break for 5 minutes. Everyone, please be seated as our panelists move into the next room to discuss the topic at hand with the moderators. Yeah, so 5 minutes. Is a discourse on the position of PR, corporate communication, in the hierarchy of marketing communications. Our first panelist is Mr. Sanjay Tripathi, Senior Executive, VP, Head Marketing, Product, Digital and E-commerce at HDFC Life. He has expertise in business strategy and planning, strategic analysis, strategy formulation, evaluation, and implementation. An alumnus of IRMA, Mr. Sanjay has also headed marketing for Reliance Communications and Mattel. Also on the panel is Mr. Senjam Raj Shekhar, named amongst the 100 most influential corporate communicators in the world by the Holmes Report. Mr. Senjam Raj Shekhar is the head of corporate communications at Flipkart, and he specializes in branding and corporate reputation. He is also a columnist at the Asian Age. Chief Executive Officer at Weber Shandwick, Valerie Pinto has over 15 years of experience in the field of communications and image management. A postgraduate from XIC, Valerie started her career as a sales and marketing professional with Taj Group of Hotels, Cadbury's India, and Standard Chartered Bank. She prides herself on creating highly motivated professionals with a macro perspective to communications. Our moderator for this panel discussion is our very own Mr. Pradyuman Maheshwari, Editor-in-Chief and CEO of MXM India. An adjunct faculty at SIMC and a consulting editor at DNA, he has also dabbled in radio, television, and communications, and has a rich startup and profit center experience. I would like to request the panelists to kindly take to the stage, please.
Hi and good afternoon. After a very thought-provoking session by Mr. Madan Bahel, I think, and the research report which was presented earlier, I think we have a fairly well laid out path ahead of us. And I think the entire theme of this conclave, which is reinventing PR, and when we were looking at an appropriate topic for the discussion, from the interaction that one had with various professionals from around the ecosystem, we believed, and as Mr. Bahel very appropriately mentioned, that the industry is going through a significant change, and in this entire process, there is a definite need for a relook at how the business is done, and if necessary, retooling it and refreshing the way things are done. And in order to do that, what we what we thought we'll do in the first panel is have one person from each part of the ecosystem, and of course we are fortunate to have a few others from other captains of industry here, and we can always turn to them for their thoughts and pose a question at them. And we've got I've interacted with each of them in the past, and they all have very strong views on the issue, and I'm going to be sure that we will benefit in terms of clearing the cobwebs of what the the problems and the malaise is. So I'm going to first turn to Sanjay Tripathi. Sanjay Tripathi heads marketing at HDFC Life, and HDFC Life, as you know, is one of the key players in the finance business, and has been very actively looking at the entire marketing services business, the advertising. It has some fairly good gender-sensitive advertising that it has done in the past, and he has been using digital in a very big way. HDFC Life, thanks to the fact that it's in the finance business, has been doing that. And Sanjay, I'm going to come to you and ask you, do you really consider, where do you think PR is in the entire value chain of the marketing communication business? And give some good reasons for your answer.
Thanks, Pradyuman. It's like, I'll tell something, there are so many senior PR professionals, please don't really kill me. So when I joined this group, I came from Reliance. Before that, I was in Reliance. We had a very strong PR team, and Reliance always believe having the best of the people, whether they're from agencies or from corporate communication head from different companies. So they may not stay for a long time, but they generally take the best of the people around. So when I come here, I found there is, they said you'll handle corporate communication. There is no agency, no person in the team. I said no. He said, yeah, journalists sometimes call you and they will require this thing. You are the person. So third day, they said, you reply back. I said, I don't know anything about insurance business. So when can I appoint a PR agency? They said, PR agency in SDFC Group, there is no PR agency. I said, are you really joking? They said, yeah, okay, you can go to SDFC. Then they sent me to SDFC. So I met the communication guy. There's a guy called Mahesh. So he said, boss, there is no PR agency. We don't go through agency. All journalists come to us. We reply back, whatever their query is. Why you need a PR agency? SDFC doesn't need additional promotion. I'm not joking. It took me 5 years to convince my CEO that, we need a PR agency. He said, what value that guy will add? Journalist knows you. We are an honest company. We are not doing anything hanky-panky. We don't need our name to be published more. So anyway, people are writing about me. If they're not writing, that is fine. I don't want to, I am in honest, finance is a long-term business. I am in an honest business. I don't claim I'll give advice. I said, as a group is not based on, claiming something which is not necessarily true so that you want to camouflage it and, try to sow it. So the whole concept in SDFC, PR is something like a bad word, if you tell that I need a PR. So coming back to that, to be very honest, in current construct, PR definitely has a role to play. But coming back to your question is, are they playing that role? So that's my bigger question as a marketing person, because see, recently you can go to the net that MSN has done a study with all the CMOs, they found out same topic, for all the student, you can go, there's a study, infographic, everything is available, is PR rising in the value chain? 80% of the marketing head said that yes, we are spending more money in PR, which agencies will be definitely happy. They also put that, what they want to see from a PR agency. But honestly, after dealing with 3 PR agencies in last 5 years, I realized there are 3 things which is required for PR to move up in the value chain. See, we all talk about integrated communication, but is the agency really understand your brand? See, the agency are really good in media relations, crisis handling, but they really understand your brand. Do they really understand integrated communication? My second point is, do they have resources to really move in the modern world? What I mean by in the world which is more social, mobile, analytics and cloud. So today, any comment which is there in the past, which is still there, if you look at a Nestle or any of the recent cases, it is the brand the stories are made and now Twitter and the agent and the Arnab and all make it a follow-up story. So in that construct, is the agency really ready? Is the agency really ready to look at ORM and trying to make it happen? So the problem is most of the agencies, the kind of manpower they have got, they have not really evolved over a period of time. So the content creation, the social requirement, the current mobile construct, so whatever is the new age requirement, it has not really moved up. Third thing is, the role is there a role? Yes. Because today is a world of integrated communication. It is no longer about a marketing communication or advertising. So I will do one-way communication and then I'll sit idle. So today communications are built in the on the discussions. We just launched a cancer care product. That's the first cancer insurance product in India. But is anyone buying it? Yes, we are just have 20,000-30,000 policies. But it is not about journalists talking. It's not about PR putting some articles in the journal, in the stories, and or we actually spoke to the journalists. We did all city press conference. It will die after some time. But how will you build the communication? Today there are enough and more opportunities. Only marketing communication cannot do. PR can really play a very, very big role in making that happen. But are they really geared in the content business? Are they really geared in a social or I think he can tell you in more detail, are they really geared in that social space or a mobile space to really make that happen? The fourth thing is I always talk about is about resources. I think PR probably gets the lowest in the value chain in terms of resources if I look at agency resources in terms of quality, except for the top end. So if you look at a PR agency, the top guys and the guys who are working with you are very different. So I call that as a Hatika Dant. What you see when you are giving an agency a work is a top guys. You give them work, looking at them, they look really good. They understand the business. But the guy who will be working in your account, he'll be working in 7 other accounts. So he basically does like, press release dissemination, or he tried to, like similarly like a SDFC, same thing. Look, being an SDFC journalist, all journalists know me. Like, I don't need an PR agency to reach to Pradyumna or any of the fellow journalists. They know us, and they definitely call us for any kind of industry discussions or any kind of this thing. So what is the role need to play? Like, if it is a game of, it is about reputation, where I want my agency to play the role is like in a strategic PR or integrated communication. I find that part is absent because the junior guys, the quality is low, and they're really stretched because probably it is about whether they're showing the value so that they'll be paid more, or because they're paid probably lesser than what required, so that the same resources shared with multiple people. So I'll leave it at that so we can discuss further.
So I'm going to get Valerie to come on this last, but before that, Sanjam, we've had this discussion some years back, and you were fairly vociferous in your response to what I had once mentioned, that PR comes lowermost in the value chain of marketing services. But you've dealt with several PR agencies, and you've been in the business yourself, and through the large corporations that you've worked with, what is your view on the topic that we're discussing? Are PR agencies and is the business really serving the needs of business, or is it because of the kind of resources we have? Is it because marketers don't know what needs to be done? And because you kind of in between the two parts of the spectrum, where you have people who dictate what's happening, what business should be doing, as well as you have people who are actually executing it. So your views, Sanjam.
Okay, first of all, I think I really I dislike the apologetic way in which this topic has been framed. So it's an apology. It looks like as if you are down at the bottom and it says, how do you climb up the value chain? So first of all, I disagree with this, the very basis of this discussion. And I'll tell you why do I disagree with this. Number one, if you look at marketing or marketing communications, they're traditionally very, very consumer focused. It's all about the consumer. So marketing guys are very good in communicating to the customer, to the consumer. But there is a larger stakeholder base that exists in the universe, and those stakeholder base today are perhaps as important, maybe more important for many companies. You were talking about community, investors, influencers, government, regulators. Now, as far as all these stakeholders are concerned, marketing is not really there. I mean, it's very, very consumer focused. So having said that, I think PR is a much wider discipline in terms of addressing all stakeholders. Marketing traditionally is consumer focused. That's one. Second is that marketing campaigns now are becoming more like PR campaigns. Marketing campaigns of the old age, and this old age is just around 5 years back, were very normal. You hire an advertising agency, you create a 60-second, 90-second, or whatever edits you create, bombard the entire network with ads so that people have no option but to remember the jingle. So you have no option but to remember. For us growing up in the days of Doordarshan, you have no option but to remember washing powder Nirma, however bad the jingle was. So that was the whole objective of traditional marketing. Now what has happened here is that public relations is about engagement, it's about conversation, it's about influencers. Marketing is now talking that language. So whatever marketing campaigns that we have seen, most fetid marketing campaigns are essentially PR campaigns. So whether, let's say, campaigns that are shared, Coca-Cola does that very brilliantly, about, they got Filipino workers who never seen Christmas, who's never celebrated Christmas with their families, back to Philippines. They got these Indians and Pakistanis to talk to each other. Essentially PR campaigns. Sanjay Tripathi also does very good PR campaigns. He recently did a campaign where he got stand-up comedians to answer questions to people on Twitter. Essentially, it's a PR campaign. It's an engagement tool. So today, all campaigns are PR campaigns. Marketing campaigns are now becoming PR campaigns. So PR is really at the top end of the value chain. It's not there at the bottom. Which brings me to the second point is that who should really be driving those campaigns which are now engagement, conversation, influencer. Here is where the dichotomy is. Most of these campaigns are driven by marketing guys with PR providing support. And here is where I would like PR professionals to make more impact, to actually drive those campaigns, where advertising is a part of the campaign. So I would want PR professionals, PR discipline, PR guys in whether in agencies or corporates to drive that. And the difference that it will make in driving these campaigns, I'll tell you what difference do you make. Marketing guys still do shortcuts right now. For example, they'll create a campaign, they're very good in creating campaigns. However, shortcuts come in form of, let's say for example, you want to get your ROI as quickly as possible. So the shortcuts, it comes in the form of, let's say for example, on Twitter, you buy influencers to tweet about you. You buy YouTube views to make it go viral. You buy Facebook likes. So there is you buy advertising space and then pretend it is editorial. So all kind of shortcuts have actually been done for campaigns like that. So I would say that if you really want to drive engagement, if you want to really drive conversation, the way to do it is the old-fashioned PR way, hard way, long way, but that's the only way you drive engagement, not by buying 5 Facebooks like, not by buying, not by getting Virat Kohli or whoever or Sachin Tendulkar to tweet about you. I think that is the way to go. So my limited thing here is I would say that campaigns are becoming more PR. Lines are blurring between PR and marketing. I think there will be some clash of civilizations in that sense, but I would say that it's up there in the value chain.
Thanks, Sanjim, for providing much ammunition for the discussion ahead. And I'm going to get to Valerie. Valerie, what is your view? Let's face it. Although Sanjim says that PR is up there in the value chain, the fact of the matter is that in a very class-conscious and caste-conscious society that we have in the marketing service business, advertising agencies really come up there. And do you really feel so? And where do you think is the solution ahead?
So the marketers, I can agree with what Raj is saying. They know how to spend money and get some ROI. So similarly, if you see where the budgets still sit, largely, even advertising agencies were pretty shocked by the whole phenomenon of change that has happened, right, in the industry. So you suddenly move from communicating to consumers through a medium where you're now communicating to consumers directly. They're engaging with your brands directly. So how do you keep them engaged, and what do you do with them a lot more to keep them in that conversation? So they try and buy likes or buy influencers and stuff like that. So when you're spending, then obviously it doesn't form part of what we do. But what PR really essentially does is able to drive and shape those conversations with a lot more credibility, which I don't think would come through where if you bought and it's common knowledge now, everybody knows you can buy a like or a Facebook tweet or whatever else it may be.
Editorial also, right?
And you can buy editorial as well, but you can buy, but what's written in that editorial is really important, and that brings me to the point of content. So sitting out of all of this is really what can you do to think a little bit more differently out of PR, out of advertising, out of everything that we do to content. What's the story? Where's the story, right? So you can buy media, but if you don't have the right story to push in there, your consumers aren't buying it anymore. They want the true story. They'll push for it. You'll see 50 other negative comments to one positive comment if you've bought it or sold it or pushed it or whatever else it may be. They just want the true story, and that's where the role of PR is going to move towards, which is creating content and being storytellers who we originally were, whether it's protecting brand reputation or corporate brand reputation, or whether it's managing social assets, whether it's managing communication to various stakeholders. It's what you're saying within that piece that's important.
Sanjay, what is your view? You've heard Sanjay Rajshekar say what he has, the fact that marketers are taking the PR route, and all your hot campaigns are actually PR and not marketing.
See, fundamentally on conceptual level, I don't really disagree. That's what I said. It is about, see, why we are doing that, because I think credibility has taken a much higher level currently on campaign, because you can no longer get away with showing something which is not really true. So the trust and credibility in current world, after particularly in a financial business, or currently the world what is going through after 2008 kind of thing, it has really taken the front seat. That is one. Second is with social coming in. Today you cannot just get away with a campaign, you cannot just get away idea showing said that, IIN kind of university and, people liking it, people will trash it in the Twitter on the same day itself, and, journalists will make 3-page articles or follow-up stories and storyboard kind of thing, and that campaign is actually gone. So you might be spending crores of rupees, but it has no longer been there. And whatever amount of money you spend in PR or trying to boost that campaign is not going to work, because if it has been trust. So fundamental level, whatever he said, whether the campaigns currently is seeking more credibility, which is a PR route, I don't really disagree. The other thing is I completely agree, by buying like an influencer, you cannot really build. So a lot of the brands are actually gone there, but it is not a long-term sustainable kind of path. You need to have real followers, you need to have real people talking to you, and you need to have people really understand your brand, and they really have to be engaged. We have got the highest amount of followers in Facebook and all, but we don't look at the followers, we look at the engagement. On engagement level, he actually mentioned one of our Twitter campaign. We have not spent a single rupee in the campaign money. In a Twitter during World Cup, I'll just give one example. We did you were doing a very nice campaign, if you remember, father-daughter thing, it's about, all of you will remember, there's a nice song to it. So that is My Family, My Pride was my Twitter hashtag. So during World Cup, so we team just thought about it. It's no agency. We are not spent a single rupee with the agency or with Twitter to promote the hashtag. So we said, can we really make it My Team, My Pride, and only tweet during India matches? So we did My Team, My Pride, 10 member, junior member, people like you who just joined after I think most of them MTs, one day they didn't get a TV set, like, Sanjay, you got 2 TVs at home, can we really sit in 2 rooms and then tweet about it? So they did tweeting only in India matches. We are #1 engaged brand across World Cup, across world. Obviously India is world for cricket is concerned. So it is higher than the Star Sports, which is the media which is actually showing the matches. It was higher than Nike, it was higher than Amazon, it was higher than Flipkart, it was higher than all the other brands, because it is an organic tweet which we are actually following. So the thing what I want to say is, if you are really engaged without spending money, as a long-term platform, like our Sarutta KGO, to be honest, if I today say Sarutta KGO, people will tell my brand name. I don't have to really do anything. I am consistent. I stayed in that space. I actually I told respect is the important one rather than the financial independence. All of us do something because we don't want our family to depend on someone else. So brand stays relevant, brand stays differentiated, it will definitely work. So I agree with his point. Similarly, Valerie said, the PR is there to drive the conversation. I'm perfectly okay with the point. But do we have adequate examples of doing it consistently across different sectors, across different companies? And I'm not it is not that PR is not the top thing in the world in the sense in terms of marketing communication. It is about stakeholder engagement. I completely agree with that. But how many agencies, the team working with us, has a potential to really deliver it on a consistent basis? That is my question mark. My question mark is the quality of the execution, not on the thought. Thought comes from the top level. Thought is perfectly fine. But if you look at anything which has reached to the top, or it has to be consistent, it has to be quality.
What is the reason why you find the quality of execution not good?
Well, it comes down to 2 things. The quality of the people working there, quality of input regularly been fed to those people, the number of brands those guys handling. Fourth thing is like, what is the kind of churn rate which is happening. See, today, I see an agency, today if I'm not joking, if I want to hire from a digital agency, that guy will say like, look, I'm very happy, I'm doing a lot of good quality work. But today if I give a call to advertising agency or to PR agency, I want to hire you, why don't you come and work me? And he'll raise his hand and say like, are you giving me offer letter tomorrow? I'll come. So that's the thing which I want to, they have to be passionate about their work. They need to be paid well, and they need to, an agency is not about more number of people, it's about of the right people having the right caliber. Fourth thing is, are they learning new things? I'm not seen any agency guy coming and saying that you have got a ORM report. Can I really see that ORM? Nobody has ever asked, like, so many years, even after telling multiple meetings, why didn't you take my ORM report? Like, we are actually, so see, it is obviously my brand is not really buzzard, like, and I'm not really promising great bargain like Flipkart or like, anything. So no, it is not, or like, so, but there'll be negative stories about probably that he's unhappy with the insurance product, because it has not delivered this thing. But nobody has ever asked for that report. So we have got all kind of monitoring in place. Nobody has asked for the monitoring report. Nobody has asked, tell me, like, not even the agency head has ever asked. I've got 3 agents. I'm not like, obviously both of you are not my agencies, but 3 agencies. No agency head has ever asked your business, give me. No, I worked with Hanmer, I worked with IPAN, I worked with MSL. I worked for 3 agencies. I'm saying 3 agencies. So both of you have not worked. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying it doesn't come naturally. So that is my problem. Doesn't come naturally to look at business review. Does not come naturally to look proactively. See, we're doing brilliantly well in digital. Like, probably we are.
But Sanjay, are you? And I know Valerie wants to respond to this, but you have multiple agencies working for you, right? You have a creative agency, you have a media agency, you have. Now, are you really seeking good quality work from your PR agency? Are you, or do you just seek media relations and dissemination of?
No, I definitely seek very good quality work from PR agency, because today see, Ajay rightly said, today it is PR can really take up and provide those values, because today it's all about two-way communication. It's about proactively monitoring this communication, creating those pics. It's not about like sending this press releases and or doing this media relations kind of thing. See, like brands like us doesn't require it, and many other brands today don't require it, because they are good enough to create their own impression in the people's mind. So what is required is how to really make that at a much more larger level. As you said, if the credibility and trust is the only thing which every brand is talking about it, how PR can really build that entire story around it, how PR can really use social and mobile in a much better way than is currently utilized by brand and marketing to take it to the next level.
Great, Valerie. He has said a lot and he has not said a lot, right? And I think you need to look at what he has not possibly said, which is that PR agencies exist, but they're not able to deliver.
Can I ask one question? In your entire agency mix, what is the total spend you make of time as well as monetary value to a PR agency, vis-a-vis advertising and everything else? And if you looked at that, you will say if you throw a peanut, you're not going to get a tiger, you'll get a monkey, right?
No, there's a very extremely interesting question. Okay, same thing like, like digital agencies initially used to come and say that, how much of your mix you're spending money in digital. We are one of the company, we spend 50% of our marketing spend in digital. We are very happy to spend money if you show credible business result kind of thing. And I pay very less to the advertising agency or the, see today, I pay equal amount of money to my digital agency and PR agency. But my digital agency today delivered 10 times effective communication peg than the PR agency. To be very honest, today digital agency comes with the PR pegs. So like the cancer we are launching. So digital agency at least has sent 3 things what we can do about PR. PR have again the same pitch. Has not come anything beyond saying that we'll do a press conference and go to 20 cities and do a launch. So that's a real level challenge. So challenge is as the senior guys really think how the marketing challenges and the way the customers are looking at things is changing over a period of time. What is the new mix I need to really provide? I don't see that coming. That's my only. I'm ready to, like, anyone, like, any agency there, I'm ready to pay high. See, I'm very honest. If I'm spending 50% money in digital, I can spend the 50% of my money per PR agency if they can really really say value.
We definitely know who's going to be the most sought after person at lunch today, right? But Valerie, tell me, what he's said and what he's not said. There's obviously a crisis of confidence in the PR business, right?
I would say it really depends on. So, for example, again, he gave us an example of his digital agency, right? And he says we've got maximum impact. It's given us impact. Why? Because half of it is also paid for, which gives you a return on investment, right? PR is really about shaping opinion or perceptions which aren't really quantified, but it helps you in terms of being able to buy insurance. It's like buying insurance because you pay for it, you don't get anything at this point in time, but it's buying insurance for when something does happen in the future. So obviously there's this huge disconnect in terms of agreeing to what he has to say, with talent not being able to deliver, because like I said, the point comes to, if you're willing to pay me that much amount of money, I will put my best guys on the ground to make sure I can deliver back for you. And if you value what's coming to the table, 150% I can bet you everyone in this room will be able to come up with creative ideas to be able to deliver that back for you. So
It is not that we start spending money in digital on the day one. It has, over the period of 3 years, from a 10% spend, it has gone to 50% spend. It is because the recommendations, I was paying, to be very, I'm not increased the agency spend. Agency is not getting paid higher. See, neither it is about, like, for example, I told about Twitter campaign. It is like Twitter worldwide head came and met me. He said, like, you're doing such a good campaign. Why don't you spend money in Twitter to promote it? I said, anyway, it is number one. Why should I spend money? I not spend 1 rupee in doing that. See, it is about pride in doing things. It is about passion of people, who are actually engaged with your brand. And to understand that, it is about what, like Ajit said, the PR role is not just restrictive. What I find, like, please don't take it as a criticism. What I find, like, it is about, see, someone working in a PR agency for an insurance brand thinks it's insurance. Someone working for a telecom brand or a car brand, it is actually thinks about telecom and cars. See, today I'm not worried about my next competition coming from an insurance company. We are actually doing very well. I am worried that tomorrow Google will get into insurance business. I think that drift the PR agency has not really gotten what the digital agency has gotten for you. So that's a bigger problem. So when you are trying to create an impression, it is the same field where I am in. What I want to do, I want to create a differential impact so that another company from another field, if you wants to come and see, today we are not in health insurance business. Now we are, let's say, got into health insurance business. Health insurance company might be thinking, well, another health insurance company can come and sell this product. But as a life insurance company, I am now got into health insurance business. So future competition can come from any place. So that is what PR needs to protect for me. PR needs to create my reputation. And see, for example, Flipkart is a very good example. I expect Flipkart in years time or 2 years time to sell insurance. Is there, like, once they start selling insurance, then all the agents, what they're selling in insurance, but is the agent really thinking today that Flipkart will tomorrow sell insurance? May not be. So that's how the businesses are moving. That's how the agencies need to really create impact in that space so that you stay non-affected even if the competition come from any other space.
Sanjay, I want to ask you this question. You've obviously made a case for the fact that PR is right up there, the value chain. But what is your view in terms of the fact that our PR agency is doing, work enough to merit that place? Because apart from the fact that you have some very successful marketing campaigns, which may be essentially PR, but in terms of the kind of routine work that PR agencies ought to be doing, are they doing it well enough?
Okay, first of all, Sanjay and I will have a discussion on selling insurance at lunchtime. And I'm happy that, Sanjay has at least acknowledged that PR is a discipline. While he has a different viewpoint on PR agencies, he at least acknowledges that PR as a discipline is up there, and all marketing campaigns today are more PR campaigns. So I'm happy that he's acknowledged that. So Sanjay, now you're on our side and not on the other side. Okay, coming to PR agencies per se, I think number one, if you look at the payment, the way agencies payout happen, So if PR is at 1, advertising probably is at 5x, and if you hire a consulting company, a big name consulting company like McKinsey or Bain, you probably pay 50x or 100x. And a regular company, my company and his company included, will not battle an eyelid in paying that particular amount of money. I think fundamentally, I think we need to pay our PR agencies more. I think more is not 10, 20% more, but probably 100, 200, 300, maybe 500% more.
And why aren't you doing that?
Sorry?
And why aren't clients like you all doing that?
We should, okay, I'll come to that. So, yeah, so we should be paying much more than what we are doing. That's one. Two is when we pay more, they'll be able to attract, better talent to come in. For example, when there's a large mix of, students here, and in that large mix, probably around 10-20% have opted for PR. Probably when the agencies come and offer at least double the salaries or triple the salaries because the fees are going to go up, I think more than 50% will come in. Why aren't we doing that? Number one, I'll tell you. Okay, the fault lies one with the agencies, and the fault also lies with the companies as well. Companies, historically, you've been paying less, so there is so you think a 10, 20, 30%, 40% hike is good enough. You don't think 5x or 10x. Secondly, the fault with the agencies also is that now, while there are agencies like Adfactors, Madan's agency, who would come and not work below a certain point. There are agencies who will come in and work for pittance. So there are agencies who will work for peanuts. So which Valerie will tell you, and Deepshika will tell you, there are agencies who come and offer the same services at peanuts. And the rainmaker will meet somebody like Sanjay, do a brilliant presentation and say, oh, I will work for you at 1.5 lakh rupees. And then Madan comes in and says 10 lakh rupees, and he says, oh, the guys are the same. So I think the fault lies with both. I think we need to sort of, both from the client side as well as agency side, I think we need to look at this really hard to say, okay, what is the value that we can derive? What is the real value that we can derive? And then work on it. I think it's work on both the sides. But I think there are some people in the PR agency game who are also spoiling this.
But if you do have an agency which does that, which comes to you and says that, hey, I'm going to offer you these services, and this is the kind of dosh I need, will you be ready to do that? Will clients be ready to do that?
I will be ready to do that if the agency comes and says that this is the campaign I'm going to do, this is the program I'm going to run, and this is the fundamental changes or shifts or business results that I will drive. If a PR agency comes and says, I will drive those business results, which could be several-fold, which could be increase in sales, which could be several-fold, we will put money on that agency. Why will we not? Why will Sanjay not pay 10x to an agency who comes forth and says that I will deliver this business results? Why will Sanjay or I not do that?
And why do you think they're not doing it?
I think that's a question the PR agency.
No, but why? What do you think is the reason?
No, I think today I think everybody is stuck in a rut. So there are some guys who are doing that. I mean, Madan came that day and presented a proposition to me. Says that this is the kind of proposition I can have to drive business results. Now that's a proposition.
Because you can't tell this in front of everybody else also here.
No, I think that's.
What did I ask you for?
No, he asked something which is quite valid considering the results that he wants to drive. So I'm saying today you need somebody like Madan to stand up and say that, well, I'm going to drive business results. I want all other agencies to say that I want to drive those business results. Is that happening? 99% of the people are not happening. And there would be some people who would actually work for such a low amount, and they will say, oh, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you. It doesn't really matter. So I think there needs to be a distinction between this. One set of agencies will eventually emerge, a kind of super agency will eventually emerge, who will drive business results, and there will be a regular agencies. Even in the digital game, there are multiple agencies today. There are probably as many as digital agencies as PR agencies. So there are people at social wavelength who are driving some level of engagement. And then there are small agencies who will say, I will buy you Twitter followers, I'll buy you click farms, I'll buy you that. So that distinction will remain. So there'll be super agencies, and I hope that, everybody who's here as a panelist will be part of the super agencies. Let's ignore those PR agencies. Let's not call them even PR agencies. Let's call them whatever agencies, but they're not PR agencies. Let's not give a bad name to PR just because you're driving some other things there.
Valerie, why do you think y'all, I'm obviously putting you in the dock and asking you to represent your entire fraternity here. But why is it that PR agencies aren't able to deliver more value? Is it talent? Is it just because, there are X number of clients that y'all are handling and, there are very heavy deliverables? What is the reason?
I would say two things. One, I don't think PR agencies aren't able to deliver what the requirement is, depending on how much of, how much the client is willing to walk that mile with you as well. There are some good clients who are willing to walk that mile with you, and therefore you'll give it your all to actually get there. So if you have that confidence and have that trust, you will definitely get to where you have to go. And it's not rocket science to understand what a client's business is, especially as senior business heads that we run our own businesses. It's not rocket science to not know what a client's business is and therefore where he needs to head or go.
So sorry to interrupt. Would you say that clients possibly don't have it in them to, kind of get the best out of PR agencies?
Most don't have it in them to give
Great.
it that.
So here you have 99%, he says PR agencies don't know what to do. And she says 99% of clients don't know what they want. And both are right? Both are right. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
And the second point I was trying to make, you cut me out, but I'm trying to think about it now. And the second point I was trying to make is in terms of monkeys, peanuts, tigers, we have all of them in our industry. You'll get whatever food you throw at us. But the point being that we're all, I would agree with some points that he made as well, is that we're all also in the whole process of transition, right? So the way business or the way clients expect the change to happen, we're pretty much dealing with what our predecessors left us with in the PR industry, which was really centered around one aspect of communications, which was, sending out a press release or doing something of that kind. So therefore, to be able to meet or to kind of get the entire industry to transition to being able to meet the objectives of what marketers today want or businesses today want, is going to take some time. It's going to take reinvention of talent. It's going to take investing in new technology to be able to help you deliver that. It's going to take different kinds of tools to be able to deliver, some of that. So I would agree, yes, we have a long way to go in terms of being able to match up to the 99%, the ones he's talking about, 99% of us, yes, we are. But the positive to that is that everyone in the industry today recognizes that. They're moving quickly towards it. And I'm sure we're almost halfway there.
But is it also because clients typically, what they expect out of a PR agency is essentially media relations and sending out releases and getting that column centimeter in Eco Times or Times of India?
5 years back, probably, not today.
And how much of it is now media relations in agencies you worked with?
So if you've seen agencies or clients?
Agencies, as in how much of the media agent of the PR agency business?
I think it would be 60-40. If you see the larger agencies, a lot of earlier it used to be 80-20, now it's about 60-40, right? In terms of being able to look at our businesses and where they actually get the ROI from, I think it would be about 60-40. Yeah. So, but from a client's point of view, I think if you notice the research that the kids had done and presented as well today, you'll see that the client expectations are moving beyond the traditional realms of what they expected an agency to deliver. So when they say internal communications, what I believe they meant is that there's a lot happening with building corporate brand presence, because consumers are directly engaging with corporate brands and not just products or services that a client or a company offers. And therefore, how does the entire organization breathe, feel, or deliver that value back to whoever they're speaking to, because you're directly talking to corporate brands today. So I think that's really where their internal communications piece. So it's how you kind of see the split happening a lot more, moving out of the traditional realms of communications as it used to be before.
Since we are at a B school for communication management, what according to you, and I'm going to pose this question to each of you here, what according to you should students be doing? And Madan made had some advisory for that in his presentation, but what according to you should students be doing to be better equipped for the world ahead?
Before that, I'll just make one last comment. So I think I find like there's nothing about PR agency. I found that what has happened in the world, like initially there is only advertising agency and PR agencies. Then the media agencies come into picture. Now then the digital agency came into picture. If you ask me as a marketeer over the period of time, I'm really happy with the work media agencies and the digital agency did. It's not because that is more measurable, or like media agency also has very less paid. They also have the same question that you pay much higher to the advertising agency, not to the media agencies. The same problem is there. But I found the team working are much more passionate. They're much more interested in your business. They always look at your report. So every time I call for Madison or Group M, they will Sam, even if it's highest in the pyramid, he'll come and say, Sanjay, please send me your business result. Then only I'll come back with the campaign. Advertising agency never asked for that. PR agency never asked for that. They have invested in social and resource. They have invested in someone who can actually do creative writing. So the newer agencies are really, really invested in people, right skill set people, because they are always challenger. They want to show that, whatever I'm doing, I can do better and pay me more. Media, to be very honest, media agencies just, all the percentages, again, if you look at it's a peanuts, the kind of work they do, the kind of hard work they do, they have to really maintain. It's not about planning. They have to really maintain whether it is come as per the due date or not, billing, and there are multiple issues. So they have got more people intensive, they are much more hardworking. So I saw the hardworking part of it has really come with a newer setup agency. The older setup agency took a lot of time to change. That's why today, if you ask me today, I will put media agency or a digital agency top of my value chain in terms of value on delivery, value of whatever I am paying vis-a-vis what they are delivering. Then probably will come advertising agency, then probably will come on a PR agency. So I think when a PR agency should relook at themselves, they should not really look at advertising agency. They should look at how the media agency and digital agencies looked at the skill set of the people, invested in the right resources, maybe junior resources, more passionate people. They're working for your brand. They're living the brand. So they're much more committed to your resources. Then the whole thing probably will change. It's not about so much about money. I think it is about competence and it's about passion. The second point, coming to your question. I think in the changing world, what we all need to look at is how to really make our communication an integrated communication. It's nothing. When we look at a thing, one thing has not changed. Is like what we call as old world thing is a communication brief. What is my objective of communication, and how I want to impact my customer. Then how I want to measure the communication. Is it an engagement? And engagement should be long term. So if I look at things very simply, I need to equip myself with multiple skill set today. So it is no longer possible that you do a very good creative brief and done a very nice TV campaign. It is actually done. What you need to really see that if I don't know what you want to become when you grow up, in the sense you want to be in a marketing side or you want to be in an agency side. But whenever you're getting any brief or writing any brief, think about integrated communication. Think about your customer. Think about how to really impact in a much more meaningful way and again in a credible way. So advertising or the communication is not about just sending one-way communication. It's about how regularly you remain connected, how your brand remain connected, how can you create engagement metrics, and how you can every campaign or every communication, how can you take the engagement further.
Over and above what Madan said, and he pointed out very extensive set of things that everybody as a whether the student etc. must say, and what Sanjay just pointed out. I would say the most essential ingredient actually would be to have a world view. I think you need to have a larger view of what is happening around the world, a larger view of what is happening around the society, and once you have a view of that, then because everything that you do is contextual. Tomorrow you'll be planning a PR campaign or a communication campaign or whatever campaign is contextual, and there is perspective to whatever is happening around the world. So while, let's say for example, a crisis in Greece or a stock market meltdown in China might not seem very relevant to communications, you need to have a perspective of what is happening with ISIL, what is happening in Mexico, or what is happening around the world. Once you develop a larger view of the world and what are the things happening in the world, you will be able to function as a communicator better. It's not just the world of business alone. Today we live in an interconnected world where politics, religion, business, everything intersects. And whatever you're doing will be further enriched if you have that larger worldview. So I'd like you to read more. I'd like you to just, whether you read it on the digital platform or whatever platform, but just read more and get to know. World you'll see that it's much more interesting things happening in the world. And I would say if there's one advice that I'd like to give everybody, I would say this is the one advice.
I must, before Valerie takes the mic, I must mention that he's just returned from a world tour, going to 16 countries, and the secret of his success, of a successful 16 months, right? 16 months and 16 countries, and the secret of his success was that he took a pressure cooker and induction oven with him, and a mosquito net. Anyway, Valerie, go ahead.
So apart from what Sanjam said and everybody else said on worldview, I think there are two things. One is you need to be a little bit more immersive in whatever you do. So wherever you go to work, either in a corporate or whether you work in an agency, I think immerse yourself. Spend enough time to immerse yourself in the view of the world, the view of your client, and the view of what's happening in the organization that you work for as well. The second one is don't be impatient, grow roots. Because only if you grow roots is where you get the full value of whatever you are or wherever you are in an organization, whether it's in a corporate or in an agency. If you don't grow roots and you're impatient for that next move for a couple of grand, you're never going to learn. You're never going to get the full value, and then you'll always meet clients who will say that you're not interested in my business, you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know where, so as young professionals who come into the industry, just remember this. So have patience, learn, immerse, and grow roots. So that's all from me.
Great, thanks. Do we have questions?
Hi, my name is Vikram Kharvi. I represent Adfactors here. So this question for Sanjay is, you have worked across multiple companies and multiple agencies. Tell us, what are the good things that consultancies have been doing for all your brands, right? From the current brand that you're working for, from Flipkart to Vedanta to Airtel to eBay. What are the good things that you have noticed in your career that they have been doing? And what are the areas of improvements? And that's the start of the next question for Valerie as well. Where the areas of improvements that you would mention, what are the things that consultancy is doing to meet their expectations? Thanks.
Okay, I would say that it's been a long 10-year now. So all the I've worked with how many agencies? Maybe four or five agencies, and maybe more. Actually, more agencies. I've actually worked with around 15, 20 agencies. I think what agencies have done very well all throughout is number one, I think whenever there's an issue crops up, whether there's some situations that crop up, I think agencies do very well in responding to that issue in a manner that it doesn't become big. So I think if there is one big value that all agencies have brought in some level, I think it's in managing those issues from becoming large crisis. And so that's one. Secondly, I would say that from a operations execution perspective, I would say that all agencies have been fairly good in executing whatever events or or campaigns or programs that we have been running. I have found personally that whenever you invest time with the agency and you inspire the team working on the account to actually deliver more, they deliver more. So I think it's inspiring the team, telling them that you can actually do it, actually makes them work more. However, I feel that there are certain areas which are areas for improvement, and it's also an area where businesses is being snatched away from the PR agencies. And one business which has emerged actually in the last 4 or 5 years only is a social agency. Now, social agency, digital agency as a concept never existed. Today, it's probably become bigger than the PR industry itself, and social was all about engagement, conversations, essentially PR agency domain. So, a large, probably an industry which is as big as a PR agency got created and which could have actually doubled the size of the PR industry. That's one. The other area where I see a serious threat right now, and this is a threat that I see very imminent, which is another agency, another industry will come in, which is going to be bigger than digital, which is going to be bigger than PR agency, and which is actually PR agency's domain is content. Content, editorial content, from videos to infographics to all that kind of content, though that is the big wave. Every company today wants content that tell credible stories. He's looking for content that tells credible stories. We are looking for content. This area is going to become bigger than PR agencies, bigger than digital agencies. It's clearly PR agencies' domain. If PR agencies don't work well in getting those storytellers together, they're going to lose their business, which could potentially triple their size. I see this as a big one.
Valerie, the question for you.
Question was, how are we gearing up to take up these challenges? I think most agencies have realized that it is content that's going to drive everything that we do moving forward, and there's been significant amount of investments that have been made by various agencies I know that are investing in people, teams, production houses, creative talent. We ourselves have a running content team which has been operational for the last 1.5 years. Where we've got videographers to media guys to creative guys, etc., who's sitting there to create not just editorial content but rich media content that can be shared, and kind of communicate the story in a single visual element. Given that, as you see, the internet is going to explode. We're going to see new tools. People are going to start communicating more in visual rather than verbal. So keeping all of that in mind, I think agencies have taken cognizance of the fact and they have invested significantly in these teams. The second part is on execution as well as, what else did you mention? Issues. I think that will continue to happen. I mean, that is really the foundation and the framework of what we do, and investing in that will continue to be, because we, as I see the PR industry, one big value addition that we bring to the entire industry is protecting brand reputation, and I think there's no one else who does this in amongst all the other agencies, and whether it's advertising or no amount of media buying or anyone else can truly take that position to say that we protect brand